Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Louie. Welcome to Louie the Label TV, and today I'm going to talk about this book that Jay-Z read. There's even in his song he says, he says this speech. He said, alhamdulillah, something. The spiritual stuff really work. You know what I mean? And one of the books that he read that is always mentioned is the Celestine Prophecy. And I felt like once he tapped into that book, it's what created him to be as powerful as he is right now. I'm not even done reading the book myself, but like I scanned through the main points and I just had to make a video about it. So yeah, like this book will have you on a higher level, on a higher consciousness. This book is really powerful, it's really deep. If we all tap into this, I feel like it's gonna be a major shift in the in this world, for real. But yeah, let's get into it. So to begin with, really the main point of this book is it helps you connect with your purpose, understand your purpose, connect with God, connect with your higher self, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it God, my higher self, Jesus Christ. Overall, that's kind of what I go with. But whatever you believe in, just know that this book helps you connect with a higher power and to understanding what your purpose is. And it kind of like gives a lot of points on how to connect with your higher self, basically becoming more self-aware, and you'll start to get insights, like you start to get revelation, insights, understanding about what your purpose is, what your destiny is. And once you tap into that higher power, you'll know exactly what you need to do to get to the next step. Like, this journey is not easy, but when you tap into a higher power, it'll definitely be a lot easier than just trying to do things on your own. So it's like living in this world as a human being, not tapping into a higher power, you kind of like just go about things very destructively. So it's like, to have a clear understanding about what you need to do, you definitely need to tap into a higher power. And yeah, this book, it really drops a lot of gems. So yeah. So basically, he talks about this man. He's going through a difficult time in life, and he gets an opportunity to travel to Peru. And while this man travels to Peru, he starts like getting synchronicities and stuff like that. Synchronicities is when you feel like, I feel like it's when you feel like God is talking to you. It's like, for example, when people see 111 or 1111, or when they talked about something one day and they seen 1111, and then maybe 3 days later when they talked about the same thing, they seen 1111 again. Like, that's synchronicity, stuff like that. Also, another synchronicity is when you see somebody again that you'll never see, that you never thought you'd see again. So like, one day I was driving to work and had seen this car in front of me with this symbol of like a cross, but with like extra patterns around it. And I really liked it because that's kind of like the pattern that I want for my clothing line or whatever. And I had seen it while I was driving to work. The next day, while I was driving to work again, I see that same car right in front of me. So I thought that was funny. And that's another example of a synchronicity. So this man, John, in the book, he talks about, you know, how while he's traveling in Peru, he starts to get like certain insights and stuff like that. And the whole purpose of him going to Peru is to get deeper, into figuring out what's going on with his life. Like, why is this stuff happening to him? And he discovers many things. I believe it's like the 9 insights or something like that he's looking for. So I guess it's like a book, or like 9 like basically points. It's like spiritual insights, I guess, that like was very important that he was looking for. So one of the major ones that he finds out about is how more about energy. I know we always like, oh, I don't like this energy, or my energy like this. We use that a lot, but it's really deep. Like energy is really everything. The day you're born with a certain type of energy, and you got to really find out. Like you have to really find out who you are, like for real, for real. Meaning like having self awareness, like being aware. Like self awareness to me is like what I always tell myself is like my favorite quote to tell myself is check yourself. So every time I check myself, I start to discover more things about myself. So before I sit here and think about like why is this person doing this, or why somebody acting like this, or why somebody do this to me, I always think check myself first. So I'll be like, because you attracting each other at the end of the day. So for you to always run into people like this, you're like, why are people always doing to me? Well, it's probably something about you to begin with because you're attracting that. So check yourself first. See what it is about you that about see what it is about you to figure out why are certain things happening to you. So self-awareness, and you got to be, when it comes to self-awareness, you really got to be real with yourself, and like you can't be sensitive, you can't be trying to make yourself feel better. You got to be real. If there are good things about yourself, get to know that. If there are qualities that you feel like you don't want to have, get to know that. And yeah, so like energy is a big thing. So if you have to be able to recognize energy, because if you could, the main thing you want to recognize is who are the people that want to control other people. You got to recognize that type of energy. So once you recognize people that like to control you, it's really hard to tell. Some people you can easily tell, but with some it's really hard to tell. So once you see that energy, you really got to be you really got to be aware of those type of energies, people that like to control you, manipulate you. You got to figure things out for yourself, for real. Don't just run with a group of people just for the fuck of it. Figure out what it is, why you hanging with these folks. And then when you figure it out and you like it and you agree with it, then you continue to go about joining certain groups or whatever it is, or doing certain jobs. But yeah, but once you figure out, like once you start to recognize energy, I feel like that's when you start to really surpass a lot of levels. And yeah, this book talks about also like walking in nature, meditating, um, things of that nature, like stuff like that. I talk about this. Actually, I experienced a lot of this myself, and I talk about that in the first video that I dropped. And I talk about it into detail about really how you can really tap in for real. But things of that nature, like will help you tap in more to the higher power, tap in more with yourself. Um, and doing this is very beneficial to your life. You start attracting better things, and you start feeling better, you start feeling happier, you start feeling more at peace. Um, it just feels way better, trust me. And I feel like, so like basically, the higher, uh, the more positive you are, the higher your energy. The higher your energy, the more you start to tap into higher things. You feel me? The lower your energy, the more you're gonna start attracting low negative things. Um, and everybody has their highs and lows, of course, but you want to be more on the positive side. I mean, it's just better. Um, Also, like, you don't have to be negative to get money. You don't have to do messed up shit to get messed up things to get money. Like, you could still get a lot more money and feel a lot more at peace, and you know exactly how to run it, being still on this path of being more positive, being more tapping in more with God. You could still get that money in a better way. It's just a way to do certain things, and it's just better for yourself, for the people around you overall, and things of that nature. Everybody says this all the time, but what you give is what you get. You give out negativity, you gonna get negativity. You give out positivity, you gonna get positive. And then like some people might say, well, I'm being positive, this or this. Like, nah, you gotta be positive to yourself too. Like you gotta feel positive. You can't just act positive. You gotta feel it, you know. And then you gotta really like, if negative things are happening to you, you really need to be like, what did I do to get here? Like, you really gotta think to yourself, because I'm telling you, it's about feeling positive. It's about feeling good. Because 9 times out of 10, messed up things happening to you, the cycle that you're in, the trap that you're in, the cycle that you want to break free from, it's because there's something you need to change. So dig deeper. Walking every morning, or just like taking a walk, to me helps me realize what it is. Like, oh, okay, that's what it was. Then I go and fix that. I've attracted so much money like this, and I'm not even trying to brag or nothing like that. It's just I be trying to tell my whole family. I be trying. My mom does this a lot unconsciously, but I be trying to tell my dad like, um, you can attract money. Like, he does what he needs to do. Like, he'll save. He'll do this. He'll do that. He feels like you gotta like penny pinch to get money, and I'm like, now you do what you need to do, of course, but also have that mindset of that money easily flows to you, you know, and it's like that. I'm not gonna lie to you though, it does take sacrifice and it does take hard work still. It's just, instead of putting hard work into something that's gonna be a waste of time, why not put that hard work into something that's gonna ultimately benefit you? So you put in the hard work in now, you won't have to work hard later. And you put in the hard work into like fixing your energy, best believe things are gonna be a lot more smoother for you. But you do have to make sacrifices. Like, if you let's say like you can't control your smoking habit or drug habit or whatever it is, I don't know, everybody has it, or some people might overeat on like junk food or whatever it is. If you have like a habit you can't control, you got to get that in check. There's nothing should be able to control you. You should be able to control that habit. So like, let's say you smoke weed all the time, and you just feel like you gotta have it. Like, I need this, I need this. Like, you gotta take a break sometimes. I'm not saying stop, but you have to take a break and be able to be in control of that habit. You can't let that control you. So you gotta sacrifice things like that. And it's not gonna be easy, but it's just gonna be hard for just a little bit. It's just a little bit. And then once you do that, you finally gonna get what you've been wanting, you know. That's just an example, but it could be like many other things. I don't know. People have like a lot of strongholds on them that's stopping them from moving forward. So whatever that is, you gotta sacrifice that. You feel me? Another one is, while you're in this process, so like while you're making this shift, you gotta have some alone time. You gotta like not only have alone time, you gotta kind of completely remove yourself. So I always felt like I was in this journey, but I was still like in this cycle. And I just was like, yo, I'm trying to break free. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow. And the moment that turning point started happening to me, I got isolated from my family, my friends, everybody. I didn't mean for this to happen. It just happened. I ended up moving to a different state because I had to. And I had so much, not only like alone time, I was doing things and stuff like that, but um, just like taking time away my from the people that I was surrounded with, taking time away from my family. Once I took that time away, I was able to think clearly with nobody in my way. Um, like, for example, like, I know I used to always think about, I would always like being around my mom. I would always be like, dang, I gotta do this for her. Dang, but she's get on my nerves. Dang, like, it was like it's really stopping me from thinking clearly, for real. And I love my mom, but I really did have to take a break from all of that. And that's just an example. She's actually, it was other things that was way worse that was in my way. But um, just for example's sake, I had to even separate from that. Like I even had to separate from that to realize, um, like to really get the insight. Basically, you gotta, cause being around, you never, ever, 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 ever gonna get that insight without taking that break from your regular folks. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's just what it is. Take a month at least, a month without hanging with nobody, seeing nobody, being around nobody. You go to work, of course, do things like that, but like you kind of got to take a break from people that you always around, so you could be able to free yourself. You can always go back and tap in, but yeah, you got to take a break for you to make that turning point. It's actually funny because a lot of times you would actually have that insight. Actually, you would have that insight. You would know exactly what's going on. A lot of people already be naturally already tapped into this, but they like, why I still can't get nowhere, why I still feel like I'm in this cycle. But for you to actually get into motion, for you to actually get going, so like you'll have that insight, but until you take that break, you're not gonna get started. It's gonna be really, really hard for you to get started to reaching your full potential. You want to reach your full potential. That's the goal. And you just gotta segregate. You gotta separate for a little bit. At the end of the book, it talks about how basically it took God a week to fully create everything He needed, but it also I wouldn't take that too literal, because day one He created something, day two He created something and added light or the dark, whatever it was. I really don't remember, but every day He added something, and and evolved. And He added humans, and then humans evolved. So basically, we're always evolving. If you haven't noticed, throughout the whole history, we've always been evolving, and all this evolution leads to now. And now I feel like it's gonna be like a major shift to where we're gonna evolve on another, whether you like it or not, things are gonna shift, and humans are evolving. Everything is evolving. Like for example, COVID happened. When COVID happened, a lot of us weren't really getting it. So when COVID happened, everything kind of took a pause, and people started to sit and really think. So I feel like after that, a lot of people tapped in, and I feel like people are still not really tapping in. So I feel like, I don't know, to me, this summer 2023 is going to be another something that's going to basically force some of us to tap in. So a lot of us going to tap in, especially around this time. And if you don't, you're going to tap in. You're just going to be forced to tap in. You feel me? And that's what it is. It's really funny that I'm talking about this book right now, because honestly, I just thought about talking about it today. But this whole week, I've been thinking about like what's going on, what's about to happen with the whole AI and everything like that. And this book came. I tapped into this book. I tapped into this book on a perfect time. And yeah, because I feel like people need to hear this right now, and that's that. But thank you for watching. Subscribe. I'm gonna be dropping more things. I'm gonna be taking a time out of my day to be dropping more things as soon as I can, because I feel like I gotta drop it this summer. So, it is what it is. All right, y'all. Thank